Well, here I am. The lighting's terrible. I'm watching Blade Runner. Let's talk about a movie. I recently saw The Last Jedi. I took a few days to really think and let it soak, because this movie is a lot, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the good and the bad. Now, what I'm gonna say is I will spoil a little bit of this movie towards the end of the video. For now, you're safe, but I will warn you when I'm gonna get into spoilers. Now, for those of you who have been living on a different planet other than Earth, The Last Jedi is the sequel to The Force Awakens, which came out in 2015. It was the revitalization of the Star Wars saga. We have J.J. Abrams, who created The Force Awakens, and that was a start of a new trilogy. And now we have Rian Johnson, who has stepped in to do 8, and then next time will be J.J. Abrams again to finish it off in 9. This video won't be much of a review. It'll just be kind of a discussion about what I thought about the movie. I'm not going to give it a rating or anything like that, because there's just a lot to talk about, and I've got pretty interesting emotions. This movie pretty much picks up right where The Force Awakens left off. It's got the same cast. Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey. It's got Adam Driver, who plays Kylo Ren. Mark Hamill's in this time with Luke Skywalker again. Carrie Fisher as Leia. John Boyega as Finn. And Oscar Isaacs as Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron is his name. I know these characters. I don't know why I'm struggling. We see the Resistance running away from the First Order. Rey now meeting Luke Skywalker for the first time, as she was at the end of The Force Awakens. Everything's picking up right where the last one left off, and we get to see what these characters are doing now as it pertains to the entire Star Wars universe. Now, the main difference in this movie is the addition of Mark Hamill. Now, obviously, we saw Mark Hamill in The Force Awakens, but he had no lines because he showed up at the last part of the movie, literally the ending, and then the screen went to black, went to credits, and that was it. Now we get to see where Luke has been, what he's been doing, and we get to see Mark Hamill basically act seriously for the first time in years. I'll start with the good about this movie. And I guess going off of Mark Hamill, we'll start at Mark Hamill for the good of this movie. This is the best Luke I've seen ever. I'm talking New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. This is the best Luke I've seen. The writing for Luke is really good. I think he's a really conflicted character. He's dealing with the very messed up and dark past that he's had. Obviously, there's a connection that he has with Ben Solo, who is Kylo Ren. You know, spoilers for those of you who haven't seen The Force Awakens, but you know, he's dealing with the past here, and this is very much a broken old man. It's kind of got that old man Logan kind of feel, and that's the character that I kind of like. This is what I love about Mark Hamill's Luke, and it brings something new and fresh to the Star Wars universe. I like Daisy Ridley as Rey. I think she's a very good actress. Her character isn't as developed as I'd liked it to be. She was kind of being accused of being a Mary Sue in The Force Awakens. She kind of just knows things without any backstory to it. But she's very good. She's a very good actress. I thought Poe Dameron, who was played by Oscar Isaac, he was very, very good. He got a lot more than he did in The Force Awakens, and he was very good. He's kind of like that Han Solo type of character, but it's not so Han Solo that it's like a rehash or anything. It's a good character, and I think he had a lot more to do in this movie than he did in The Force Awakens. And then my favorite part of this entire series so far, this entire trilogy, Adam Driver kills it as Kylo Ren. He's great. He's dark. I think Kylo Ren is, as a character, what we should have gotten from Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. Other good things, I really liked John Boyega's acting in this movie a little bit more than I did in The Force Awakens. He was very, I don't know, over the top in The Force Awakens. I like this character a little bit more here. Not too much, but it was better than The Force Awakens, so I guess that's a good thing. This movie was very fresh. It was very new. It was very not Star Wars, but not in a bad way. This was very different in that it took steps that you didn't expect. It was very fresh. It was very new. It was going into uncharted territory, something we've never seen before from Star Wars. Either that's going to be a good thing for you or a bad thing. This has been a very divisive movie, and that's kind of what I'm going to get into now. This movie is the first movie where I love it just as much as I hate it. While it is a very, very good movie, I think it is a horrible, terrible sequel to The Force Awakens. It is so bad. This movie takes every idea that J.J. Abrams and Kasdan, I think is the writer of The Empire Strikes Back and Force Awakens. It just takes every idea that he was building and throws it in the garbage. It throws it out. I can't really talk about this without spoiling the movie, so I am going to lead into spoilers now. If you've not seen the movie, get out of here. Go. Leave. I'll wait for you to... You gotta go. Let's start with Supreme Leader Snoke. Snoke looked to be like this big emperor type character who clearly has a past and knows about the Skywalkers. He knows about what happened with the rebellion. He knows about what's been happening with the Sith versus the Jedi. He looks like an important character, and they don't allude to any of that. And then they kill him. And J.J. Abrams clearly had a very good idea with where he was going to go with this character, and Rian Johnson takes it and rips it apart. Rian Johnson completely ignores the fact that Kylo Ren is the master of an entire Knight's Guard or a King's Guard called the Knights of Ren, and they don't even mention it. Now, it's not just that this movie completely ignores the fact that J.J. Abrams was building his own universe and it just kind of pushes it to the side to tell its own story. It's also that the new ideas that it brings to the table, well, new, they're not very great all the time. They've had this thing with Finn meets this girl Rose, whose sister was a bomber in the first attack in the beginning of the movie. They team up and they end up in this weird casino world where it's like this weird animal rights activist kind of side plot thing. Whatever it is, it's a huge waste of time, and the movie runs a little bit long, and this portion of it could have easily been taken out, cut the runtime down, and made the movie streamlined because it didn't need to be there at all. Once again, Captain Phasma is in the movie, but she's wasted, and now she's dead, so it's a waste of a character. Really weird. There was comedy in the movie, and a lot of it, and while the jokes landed for me, the jokes worked, it just didn't work in terms of the tone of the trilogy that was set in The Force Awakens. General Hux was one of those characters in The Force Awakens who seemed very serious in his role as, a general, and now he's kind of looks like a goofy side kick to Kylo Ren, when clearly J.J. Abrams had them butting heads. Now it's like he's a weird, goofy lackey to Kylo Ren. There were just some goofy things with Leia. We get that she's Force sensitive, we get that, but I just thought the scene where she's ripped out into space and then she Force pulls herself back into the ship was a little heavy. And it just felt wrong, it just felt goofy. The best part of this entire trilogy to me, like I said, had been Kylo Ren, and the very, very best part of this movie has been the relationship between Rey and Kylo Ren. And there's these beautiful, beautiful moments where they see each other with the Force and they start to communicate with each other and kind of have more of an understanding. And now this movie really should have focused purely on that and not so much some of the side stuff. Not to say that all the side stuff was bad, but they really should have just gone and ran with that and kept some of JJ's ideas from The Force Awakens. The action, the throne room scene where they're going against the guard after they've killed Snoke is great. It looks great. It's played great. It's acted greatly. The scene where Kylo Ren is trying to convince Rey to join him, and my favorite part of it is when he's telling her, let old things die. We can make our own world. It's a great scene. I love it. It shows the characters have a connection. It's great. Kylo Ren tells Rey that her parents were basically nobodies and that she doesn't really have a bloodline that's strong in this story. And that's one of the good things about this movie. I think the theme is great. You don't have to be a somebody. You don't have to be connected to somebody's bloodline to play a part in the world. Other than just, some scenes, like I said, Mark Hamill has really been great in this movie. It's weird that they used him and then killed him off. That was very strange to me. Yeah, just very strange. I think he should have lived. I think it was just an awkward thing to do. I thought the scene was nice. I thought the shot was beautiful at the end in his last scene, but it just seemed weird for them to have him there and then kill him off. Very weird. Now, with all that being said, like I said, it's a weird feeling for me. I loved this movie. I really did love it as its own movie. It makes me very excited to see Rian Johnson take control of his own trilogy outside of this one, but I just wish that JJ did all three. I think we would have had a more realized sequel to The Force Awakens. This was so bad as a sequel. So disappointingly bad. I hated this movie as a sequel. Rian Johnson was very good. He wrote it well, I think. I think he directed it very well. This movie's very stylized differently from The Force Awakens. It's nothing we've seen from a Star Wars movie before, which I enjoy in that way, the visual aspect. But I'm just really interested to see how this closes out. I'm worried a little bit because they just don't match the styles. This is a horrible sequel. But it's a great movie. Other than that, it makes me feel very weird, this movie. How did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it as both a sequel and a Star Wars movie? Let me know down in the comments. Other than that, these are always weird endings, aren't they? You know, yeah. Well, that was The Last Jedi. This is me. We are lighting. I'm going to go finish Blade Runner, which I've never seen before, so let me know what you think of Blade Runner. I don't know. Bye!